Alzheimer's, right? Doctors have discovered that there are internet, so annoying. There are ways to deter degeneration of the brain. So if that's you, listen in tonight and see what tips I have for you for keeping your brain sharp. Number one, a new cause of Alzheimer's has been identified over the last 10 years, and that is sustained immune reactions in the brain caused by chronic inflammation. So the number one tip is to reduce your intake of inflammatory foods. Some of the foods that you eat, hey Galena, some of the foods that you eat are causing inflammation in your body and in the brain. So here, what kinds of foods are there that produce inflammation in the brain? So here are some of them. Anything that is processed food. What do you mean by processed food? Anything canned, TV dinners, anything prepped for us ahead of time, lunch meat, anything preserved like TV dinners, I said that, where they're already prepared and preserved for us. Those are all processed kinds of foods. Cheap fats like soybean oil is an inflammatory food. Margarine, that's not butter. It's a butter substitute, which is pretty much all chemicals. So if you're going to have butter, stick with real butter. TV dinners, I said that again, third time, with unhealthy fats in them. Sugary energy drinks are definitely inflammatory foods for your body. Fast foods are, especially deep fried options, are generally inflammatory foods, and it's because of the oils that they're deep frying the foods in. So that's another one. All right, so trying to reduce your intake of some of these inflammatory foods. If you're going to eat a low inflammatory diet, keep it real is a really good thing to keep in mind, like a real meat, eggs, keep real food, not processed food. Number two, the second way for us to reduce the inflammation or to keep our brain sharp is to add omega-3 fats to our diet daily. Hey Eva, thanks for watching. A crucial step in decreasing inflammation and decreasing the risk of degenerative brain disease is to add omega-3s to our diet. The most potent anti-inflammatory foods are omega-3s from fats in seafood and plant foods. Studies show that inflammation biomarkers, they can actually measure how much inflammation is in your body. Waiting for my internet to come back on. They can actually study in your body by biomarkers. Those are blood tests. They actually improve, your inflammation biomarkers improve as the amount of omega-3s in your diet increase and the amount of omega-6s decrease. Okay, so let's see, omega-3s. So seafood, like I said, and some plant foods increase your omega-3 fats. Number three, the third thing you can do to keep your brain sharp, and you're going to say, oh my God, everybody says this, but it's true. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. So the brain is affected by your hydration status. Mood, fatigue, alertness are all impaired with dehydration. So if you're not getting enough hydration, your brain function is definitely impaired. Hydration also affects your digestive tract, your skin, your kidney function, and a lot more. So what should you drink? Well, you all know number one is water. Purified water is the absolute best thing for you to be drinking. You can also drink green tea or black tea. Let's see, they decrease, both of these things, green tea and black tea, decrease stress and cortisol, and they have antibacterial properties. They support eye health and contain brain-boosting compounds. Isn't that nice? That's really good. Okay, so you might say, well, what about coffee? Well, most of the doctors that I read all say that coffee is a healthy drink. It's not unhealthy for you. Maybe some of the things you put into it might be unhealthy, but coffee itself is not unhealthy. It's good for you, but it is a gentle diuretic, so it cannot be counted when you're adding up the amount of fluids that you're putting into your body. So if you have a certain number of ounces of fluids or water you're supposed to be drinking a day, you cannot include your coffee because it does the opposite of hydrating your body. It's a diuretic. Okay, so coffee is fine. Just don't count it when you're counting the amount of fluid you're supposed to be having for the day. And the fourth tip for increasing your brain, keeping your brain sharp, is to laugh. Yes, chronic mental stress is a brain ager. Increased blood cortisol, which is a sign of chronic mental stress, is correlated with impaired memory and actual decrease in brain volume in middle-aged people where it was checked. So how do you reduce cortisol? Number one was to eat foods and drinks that decrease cortisol, like the fatty fish, like salmon, dark chocolate, 70% or more cocoa, fruits and veggies or concentrated fruits and veggie powders from reputable sources if you're trying to eat low carb. And the number two way to reduce cortisol is to laugh. It is really, really healthy, really good for you. All right, those are the 4 tips that I had tonight. Dr. Colbert actually had some more on that blog post, and I'm going to definitely plan to do that. Give you some more tips for increasing your brain sharpness on a future live. But that's it for tonight. Now, one of the things we talked about was decreasing your cortisol, and I found 6 daily habits that you can do to decrease your cortisol naturally. And if you would like to hear those 6 daily habits to decrease your cortisol naturally, send me a private message. I'll be happy to share that information with you and pass it along. But that's it for tonight, folks. I will see you on the next live. Thanks for watching.